Hello, welcome to Gurukul's CAT 100 series, a series that's designed specifically to take you from your study room to the corporate boardroom. I am Prady Sharma and this is Verbal Mastery with Prady.
Hello and welcome back to day 69 of our 100 days to CAT test series. Now, in case you want to take up this passage as a test, all you've got to do is go on to www.thegurukul.org.in, and if you want to follow along with this video, then this is your paragraph number 1. Pause the video here, read this paragraph, and then we'll go into the second paragraph. This is your paragraph number 2. Pause the video here, read this paragraph, and then we'll go into the third paragraph. This is your third and last paragraph. Pause the video here, read this paragraph, and then we'll go into the questions. This is your question number 1. Pause the video here, answer this question, and then we'll move on to the question number 2. This question number 2, pause the video here, answer this question, and then we'll move on to the question number 3. This is your question number 3, pause the video here, answer this question, and then we'll move on to the question number 4. Now this is your last question for the day, question number 4, pause the video here, answer this question, and then we're going to go into the passage and question explanations. From blob-like jellyfish to rock-like lichens, our planet teems with such diversity of life that it is difficult to recognize some organisms even as being alive. Now what is teems with is full of. Okay, you can understand this as is full of. Okay, so what's he telling over here? He's saying that there's just too much life. Okay, some life you can't even recognize as life altogether. That complexity hints at the challenge of searching for life as we don't know it, the alien biology that might have taken hold on other planets where conditions could be unlike anything we have seen before. So this complexity, the complexity that there's different kinds of life even within our planet, hints that okay, if we are searching for life outside, we might not even know what we are really looking for or what are the even conditions that such a life might exist at. The universe is a really big place. Chances are, if we can imagine it, it's probably out there on a planet somewhere, said Morgan Cable, an astrochemist at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. The question is, will we be able to find it? So basically this woman is saying that yes, if you think of certain kind of a life form, it will be there somewhere or the other in this entire universe. But the problem is, will we be able to actually find it? Do we have the means to find it? For decades, astronomers have come at the question by confining their search to organisms broadly similar to the ones here. In 1976, NASA's Viking landers examined soil samples on Mars and tried to animate them using the kind of organic nutrients that Earth microbes like, with inconclusive results. So one of the problems, one of the things that we've been doing for tens of years is that we've been trying to find life similar to the one that we know of, similar to the one that's present on Earth. And in 1976, this NASA's Viking landers, so one of the spaceships which probably went on to the Mars, okay, they examined soil samples and they tried to bring back, that soil into life using this kind of organic nutrients which Earth microbes might like. Okay, so they probably thought that soil is also like the soil at Earth, so they used the same type of nutrients which Earth microbes might, be favorable to. But what did we get? We got inconclusive results. That means we could not actually animate those, we could not animate that soil. So animate, what does animate means? Animate means to liven. Okay. Later this year, the European Space Agency's ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter will begin scoping out methane in the Martian atmosphere, which could be produced by Earth-like bacterial life. NASA's Mars 2020 rover will likewise scan for carbon-based compounds from possible past or present Mars organisms. Now again, over here, we are seeing that there are two more, missions that are going to try and understand how the Martian atmosphere is. One mission is going to bring out, it's going to check out the methane over there, which is produced by Earth-like bacterial life. Again, we do not know it yet. Unless this actually happens, we won't get to know it. And second thing is, NASA's Mars 2020 rover will likewise scan for carbon-based compounds from past or present Mars organisms. Now, again, so what if those organisms from Mars do not decompose into carbon? So Earth-based organisms, decompose into carbon. But what if Mars-based organisms do not decompose into carbon? So there's a lot of instability, right, in all of this. But the scientists are still trying with all the means that they have to find out some sort of life in the space. Now let's move on to the next part. But the environment on Mars isn't much like that on Earth, and the exoplanets that astronomers are finding around other stars are strangers still, many of them quite unlike anything in our solar system. For that reason, it's important to broaden the search for life. So basically, when people are only confined to Mars, it is not like Earth at all. It's not, the environment isn't like Earth. So they have to move out of that scope and they have to search for life elsewhere. For that reason, it's important to broaden the search for life. We need to open our minds to genuinely alien kinds of biological, chemical, geological and physical processes. Everybody looks for biosignatures, but they're meaningless because we don't have any other examples of biology, said the chemist Lee Cronin at the University of Glasgow. So what's he saying? Okay, we need to open our minds to understanding, different types of biological, chemical, geological and physical processes, not the ones that we already are aware of. Okay, everybody is looking for biosignatures. Biosignatures means what? Chemical or biological messengers that we already know of, about things that represent people from Earth or things that represent organisms from Earth. But we have to understand that these biosignatures that we know of are completely meaningless. A new biosignature could be something that's out there, of an organism out there, which we have no idea about whatsoever. So to open our minds, we need to go back to the basics and consider the fundamental conditions that are necessary for life. First, it needs some form of energy, such as volcanic hot springs or hydrothermal vents, that would seem to rule out any planets or moons lacking a strong source of internal heat. What does that mean? We need a strong source of internal heat for us to have some sort of energy. So any exoplanet or moon that does not have it will not be our ideal choice for life. Life also needs protection from space radiation, such as an atmospheric ozone layer. So this is a secondary thing. Having an ozone layer is secondary thing. First, we need to have internal heat. Many newly discovered Earth-sized worlds, including ones around TRAPPIST-1 and Proxima Centauri, again, these could be, the stars, okay, orbit red dwarf stars whose powerful flares could strip away a planet's atmosphere. So this is not enough. This is the first and most important thing. But beyond this also, we need this. Otherwise, what? There are other newly discovered Earth-sized worlds, but their atmosphere is completely stripped away because they are very close to those red dwarf, powerful flares. Studies by the James Webb Space Telescope, set to launch next year, will reveal whether we should rule out these worlds too. So there's another mission that's set to start next year. This telescope will inspect, and it will let us know if we should remove these worlds also from our consideration for a new planet. Now let's move on forward. Finally, everything we know about life indicates that it requires some kind of liquid solvent in which chemical interactions can lead to self-replicating molecules. Water is exceptionally effective in that regard. It facilitates making and breaking chemical bonds, assembling proteins or other structural molecules, and for an actual organism, feeding and getting rid of waste. Now, the third most important thing is what? We need water. So first things first, we need to have some kind of an energy source, or for that energy source, we need to have a source of internal heat, right? If we have a source of internal heat, then we can think about having atmosphere. Okay, and third one is some kind of a liquid. I wouldn't even necessarily say water. So this gives rise to this and this. Unless we have an energy source, none of this exists. Okay, so that's why planetary scientists currently focus on the habitable zone around the stars, the locations where a world could have the right temperature for liquid water on its surface. So I cannot have liquid water anywhere on any random surface. I need to have the right temperature for liquid water to survive. These constraints still leave a bewildering range of possibilities. Okay, perhaps other liquids could take the place of water. So there's still way too many possibilities when I'm thinking of it this way. Maybe other liquids could take the place of water. Maybe water is not even required. Or a less exotic possibility, maybe biology could arise in the buried ocean of an ice-covered alien world. Such a setting could offer energy, protection and liquid water, yet provide almost no outward sign of life, making it tough to detect. Or just for the sake of thought, maybe an ice-covered planet could have signs of life, but maybe we are not going there because our thought process is so set on thinking that we need it to be warmer, we need it to be hotter, maybe we need it somewhat like Earth. So now that we've understood the passage, let's quickly get into the question explanations. So the first question says, why is it challenging for humans to find life beyond Earth? Now, obviously, humans are still trying to look at something that represents, or that is a representative of themselves, right? So that's what we've told. The universe is too complex to find something one has never seen before. Obviously, if you do not know how life looks like, What are you even trying to find? If I ask you to find me a pen and you do not know how that pen looks, how will you even find me that pen? So this is a really good answer according to the passage. B, the scientific know-how and resources on Earth are not ample to find life beyond Earth. Obviously not, because people have been doing so many missions and all. So we can say that the scientific know-how and scientific know-how and resources are enough. So this will not be our answer. Aliens are different from the organisms found on Earth and hence can hide effectively. Now I understand, maybe I could agree that aliens are different from the organisms that are found on Earth. I might even agree with it. But and hence can hide effectively, this never comes from the passage, right? So this is completely out of scope. So we can remove the C option. D, the environment on the other planets might have enabled life to flourish underwater and hence undetectable. Now this is a very big speculation. This is just a might be case which is not directly mentioned in the passage. So definitely should not be considering this. This is also going to be our out of scope choice. So we have 2 out of scope choices and one thing that is completely opposite of what's being given in the passage by examples. So our best possible answer now becomes answer option A. Now let's go into the second question. According to the planetary scientists, which of the following could be a habitable zone? So what is needed for a habitable zone? That's what's being asked. A planet with ozone layer protection? Yes, we do need a planet with ozone layer protection. So it's a good answer so far. A planet with some form of liquid to sustain life? Again, yes, it's broad enough. We need some form of liquid which can grow things, right? Yes, a planet with appropriate temperature. See, obviously, unless we have a planet with appropriate temperature, neither of this can happen, right? So obviously, this becomes a better answer than A and B. So I can remove A and B. D, a planet with liquid water for sustaining life. See, we've seen towards the end of the passage that it does not necessarily need to be liquid life. It could be any planet as long as the temperature is right. Water might also come there. So the best possible option amongst these would be our option number C. Let's go to the third question. Which of the following can be inferred from the passage? Okay. Once the presence of liquid water is detected on a planet, finding life as we know it will be probable. Now again, see, nowhere has he told that if there is water on a planet, you will find life over there, right? Or there's a possibility of finding life, right? Maybe I have water on that planet, but there's no life. Correct. So this option cannot be inferred from the passage. B, life can flourish under uncertain conditions, and we have to broaden our belief system to embrace alien life on our planet. So I can agree that life can flourish under uncertain conditions, but what is this about us broadening our belief system? See, it's not about our belief system, especially to embrace alien life. We need to start finding the right conditions for it. So this cannot be my proper answer. C, redefining our search parameters such as biosignatures will help us will help our quest for alien life. Now see, these biosignatures and all, if we stop thinking, okay, that yes, this is exactly how we have to think of a alien life, or this how we have to think about life outside Earth, then we can start finding life. So this makes a little bit more sense than B. D, if we are to find life on other planets, we need to rethink our fundamental beliefs about living. No, see again, the problem over here, it's a very nice misleading answer. Okay, we don't have to think about living, we have to think about living beings. We are trying to find life, we are not trying to see how we will live, right? So D will not be our correct answer. The best possible answer becomes C. Now, let's go to the fourth question. According to the author, how can a scientist open his mind away from the traditional basis of finding life beyond Earth? Okay, so what should a scientist do? Okay, so to think that you can find life beyond Earth, first thing is stop thinking that life beyond Earth will be exactly like the life on Earth, right? So a scientist should keep in mind that life beyond Earth could be completely different from what we find on Earth. So obviously this makes a lot of sense. I'm very tempted to just mark this as an answer and go forward, but let's check B, C and D as well. B, a scientist needs to be more patient as the search may take a lot of time because the possibilities are numerous. See, nowhere in the passage has he told about how much time we have to wait, or do we even need to wait or not. So this is not something that is considered for this question. C, a scientist needs to look for the availability of energy and water on the surface of the planet and protection from space radiation. Now, see, these are the necessary conditions, but what is given over here that a scientist needs to convince himself of? Nothing, right? This is something that we already know. So, C should not be our correct answer. D, a scientist needs to look beyond common biosignatures. Again, a very, very nice, trap option that's given to you. Obviously, we need to look beyond the given biosignatures. I would agree, but that's not something that the scientist has to open his mind up to. It's a given fact. It's already a stated fact. So, it's not going to be D either. The best possible answer now becomes A. Now, if you watched the video till here, please do not forget to hit that like button because that motivates us a lot to keep bringing these kind of videos for you. Share this with one of your friends who is preparing for CAT 2025 but does not have adequate resources. I'll see you in the next
Hope you enjoyed learning from today's session.
This series is designed to help you with your CAT preparation and practice daily. We are with you in this journey.
To watch the next video, click here. And to watch Gurukul's CAT 100 series, study room to boardroom, the entire playlist, click here.
If you learned from today's session, like, share, and subscribe.